Welcome back to Hidden Business Risk, business blind spots you don't realize are holding you back. I'm Dan Butler, and today we're digging into something I call margin leak, the slow erosion of profit caused by reasonable decisions. Picture this, a 10-year client who started as a tidy retainer and 5 years later was costing the agency money every month because small favors turned into permanent expectations. That's our hook today. How friendliness and flexibility quietly sink margins, and how to stop it without breaking the relationship. Quick setup. When we say margin leak, we mean discount drift, scope creep, inconsistent renewal pricing, and informal add-ons that aren't tracked or billed. They look harmless in isolation. One small concession here, one extra feature there, but over time, they compound. Jessica, Eddie, welcome. Let's start with why this matters in plain math and behavior terms.
Thanks, Dan. I love that you framed it as both math and behavior. Legally and contractually, what looks like a small favor becomes hard to reverse when there's no written anchor. One handshake today is precedent tomorrow. I'm looking forward to showing some simple statement of work language that prevents that slide.
Good to be here. From the operations side, the minute you let exceptions bypass your systems, tickets, invoices, pricing rules, you lose visibility. And if you can't measure it, you can't fix it. I'll talk about 3 low-friction controls you can implement this week.
Okay, revenue lens. Let me do some simple math to make the point. Imagine a client that brings $10,000 a month in billed work. You give a 5% concession here and a free add-on once a quarter that costs you another 2% in labor. That sounds tiny, but over a 3-year life, those concessions cut lifetime revenue by roughly 14 to 20% once you account for churn and reduced upsells. And the sales team learns. Discount gets the deal. Discount becomes the tool, not a last resort. That distorts behavior faster than most owners realize.
Right. Those numbers matter because they change bargaining power. Contracts are your way to set expectations without being rude. A well-written statement of work says exactly what's included, what counts as a change, and how change is approved and billed. Simple additions, acceptance criteria, so neither side argues whether work was done, and a clear change order clause that ties approval to pricing and schedule adjustments.
Jessica, can you give an example phrasing for a change order clause that's short and human? Something listeners can test with a client tomorrow.
Absolutely. Try this. Any work outside the scope of this statement of work will require a written change order, including a revised estimate for time and fees and an agreed-to delivery date. Work performed without an approved change order may be invoiced retrospectively. Short, clear, and it flags expectations without sounding like a lawyer wrote it.
And operationally, pair that clause with a simple workflow. When a request comes in, create a ticket tagged Change Order Pending. Don't let technicians bill hours to the retainer until that ticket moves to approved. If you automate a billing flag, like hold billing over 8 hours until change order approved, you stop the informal comp culture before it starts.
Love it. So legal anchor plus operational guardrails. Now, Jessica, renewals are another common leak. What should owners do to avoid renewal drift, where prices slip or service levels shift over time?
2 things. First, include a renewal notice period and an option to adjust fees with reasonable notice. Second, require a documented review prior to renewal, an updated statement of work, or a renewal worksheet that both sides sign. Sample line. Client will be notified of renewal terms 60 days prior to renewal. Any fee adjustments will be communicated in writing not less than 30 days before renewal. That gives you space to renegotiate rather than let old pricing auto-roll forward.
And put renewal reminders in your ops calendar tied to revenue telemetry. If you're reporting flags that a client's realized margin is below a threshold, you get an alert 90 days out. That gives account teams time to prepare, not a surprise confrontation, but a planned conversation.
Let's move to operational lens more broadly. Eddie, walk us through the baseline controls, ticketing, pricing telemetry, and invoicing discipline. What does a minimum viable system look like for a small team?
Minimum viable: 1, every request creates a ticket with a predefined scope bucket, retainer, billable change, out of scope, or ad hoc. 2, pricing telemetry, track build rate versus cost rate and margin per client weekly. 3, invoicing discipline, no silent write-downs. If discounting is allowed, it must be recorded with an approval reason and owner. Finally, a simple change order template lives in your ticket and is emailed automatically when a tag flips to change order. That chain keeps relationships intact because customers see a transparent process rather than a surprise invoice.
Jessica, quick question. If a client resists signing a change order because they feel nickel and dimed, how do you coach account teams to keep the relationship healthy while enforcing the rule?
Start with empathy and transparency. Here are 2 lines. For new scope, try, "We want to make sure this gets the attention it deserves. This looks like a separate effort from your retainer. We can do it fast. To keep things fair for our team and yours, I'll prepare a short change order with timing and cost so we can get started." For a retrospective bill, "We picked up extra work to keep your campaign on schedule. To be fair to our team, we'd like to invoice that as a one-time item. If you'd like future work folded in, let's update the SOW." Soft, honest, and framed around fairness, not punishment.
And back that with speed. A slow administrative response is what makes clients grumpy. If you immediately send a one-page change order with clear yes-no buttons, most clients will sign. Keep the friction low for them and firm for your margins.
Panel triage time. When you look at a pile of potential leaks, how do you prioritize? Jessica, what's your framework?
Prioritize based on 3 axes: revenue exposure, how much money's at stake; repeatability, does this happen often or was it one-off; and relationship risk, how close is the client and what's the cost of a misstep. Triage high-revenue, repeat issues first. Those are the fastest wins. Low revenue but high relationship risk, handle with scripts and education rather than hardline fixes.
Operational Answer matches that. Fix the stuff that bleeds every month before you fix one-offs. And automate detection. Set a report for clients whose realized margin is sliding month over month. That puts problems on your dashboard, not just in someone's head.
Great. Now for the part listeners came for, the actionable playbook. In 30 days, he can run an audit, test 3 client scripts, and roll a lightweight change order template. Let's walk through each step. Step 1, 30-day pricing audit. What are the concrete items?
Audit checklist. Pull top 25% of revenue clients and calculate realized margin per client for the last 12 months. Flag any clients with margin below your target minus 5 points. Then list all discounts and any one-off billed items. Finally, check ticket tags for out of scope and count how often they occur. That gives you a prioritized hit list.
Step 2, 3 client scripts. We'll give them now. Copyable lines you can use. Script A, new scope conversation. We can absolutely add that. To give it the focus it needs, I'll send a short change order with timing and cost. You can approve by reply, and we'll get started. Script B, retrospective invoice. To avoid slowing delivery, we pick this up. To be fair to the team, we'll invoice it as a one-time item. If you prefer this included going forward, let's update the SOW. Script C, renewal conversation. As we approach renewal, we'd like to review outcomes and adjust the scope or fee so the agreement reflects current priorities. Can we schedule 30 minutes to align? Jessica, any legal softeners to add?
Those are excellent. I would add 1 sentence to the retrospective invoice script. If you have questions about specific tasks, I can walk through them with you. That invites dialogue rather than defensiveness. And always follow up important conversations in writing so there's a clear record.
Step 3, the change order template. Keep it 1 page. Scope description, hours or deliverables, cost, delivery date, approval line, and a checkbox for bill to retainer or bill separately. Attach it to the ticket so approval is linked to the work. This keeps billing clean and relationships intact because clients can see exactly what they're approving.
Now, let's do rapid scenarios. 3 quick applications so listeners can hear this in context. Scenario 1, an agency with retainer creep. Account manager keeps adding small projects to retainer. Jessica, what's the first move?
Start with the audit. Show the numbers to the account manager. Use the new scope script with the client. If the client pushes back, offer a trial. We'll include 2 of these items this month so you can see the outcome. Then we'll move to a documented change order going forward. It's a soft constraint that preserves goodwill.
For the MSP with undocumented break fix, implement ticket tags for break fix versus managed services and set a policy. Anything outside the managed agreement triggers a quote within 48 hours. Train your techs to open a quote pending ticket instead of doing the work immediately. That single habit stops months of unbilled labor.
And scenario 3, a consultant who's been comping work as a relationship builder and suddenly realizes it's become the norm. Jessica?
Have an honest client conversation. Use the retrospective invoice script for the comped items that became recurring, and then present a packaged offer for ongoing support at a fair rate. Frame it as, this is the value we deliver, and here's a clean, simple way to get it moving consistently.
We're almost out of time, so quick recap. 1. Run the 30-day audit pulling margin per client and flagging repeat out-of-scope work. 2. Adopt the 3 scripts and test them on one client. 3. Implement a one-page change order template and ticket tags so approvals and billing line up. Small steps, big impact.
If you take one technical tip away, automate the flagging. A simple spreadsheet or ticket report that highlights low-margin clients is enough to change conversations from reactive to proactive.
And a legal reminder, these are incremental relational changes. Test language with one client before rolling out widely. And if you're in a fixed price or regulated environment, consult your counsel and account teams to adapt these controls appropriately.
Final thought, margin leaks are not moral failings. They're system failures. Fix the system and you protect both profit and relationships. For the form, scripts, and a short video briefing that walks through the 30-day sprint, go to hiddenbusinessrisk.com and grab the margin leak briefing. That's the only place the materials live. Thanks, Jessica, Eddie. This was great. And to our listeners, pick one client and try the script this week. You'll be surprised how often clarity is appreciated.